Good evening, maadjong gabi natong tanan. Kumusta naman mo? And of course, welcome to our class in ethics. I am recording this video tonight while I am here at Tomas Opus. I hope you are all fine and in great shape. And of course, you are all safe from COVID-19. So yesterday, June 24, the LGUs in the different municipalities in the province of Southern Leyte were implementing strict regulation against people going to the beach because, as you know, June 24 is a day wherein people would celebrate by going to the beaches. But yesterday, grabe kamingaw ang mga kabaybadunan tungod kay gidili ang pagpangaligo because the government is trying to contain the virus, this COVID-19, that could be possibly transmitted if people would gather ngadto sa mga kabaybadunan. So, you see, that's how invading COVID-19 is to the lives of the people, our life, and of course, even our culture. But let us just pray that this will end very, very soon. So in our past lesson, we were talking about situation ethics. Okay, so it is a unique ground for morality, for goodness, because with situation ethics, if you remember it right, the basis of morality, of the goodness of the action is love. Everything that we do, as long as it is based on love, then it is considered good. However, we have to be careful in our proper understanding, a proper perspective as to what kind of love is. Because in the situation ethics, love is not something that is passion. Love is not based on feelings and emotion. Love that is blind. But rather, this is a kind of love that is rooted on the will and the intelligence of man. That when you love a person, when you love somebody, it must not be based on what you feel, on what attracts you, on what arouses your feeling, but rather you love with an open mind, that whatever you desire for the beloved, it must be good. And the determination of this goodness is based on the intelligence, on the will. Okay, so let us be guided as to the understanding of love. So this evening, we will move on to another basis of morality or goodness. I hope you have remembered all those bases. I have introduced to you various morality taken from different perspectives. So it is important that we should be able to remember all of those, because this will help us in our determination of what really is good. At least we have various references on the different concepts of what is good and what is evil. So tonight, or this evening rather, we will be talking about the Virtue of Selfishness by Ayn Rand. Anyway, before we will proceed, let us first talk about Ayn Rand, now the proponent of the virtue of selfishness. Ayn Rand is a philosopher who came from Russia. So that time when Ayn Rand escaped from Russia, Russia during that time was still a communist country. And so because Ayn Rand has a different mentality, no? He could not embrace the communist kind of life. And so she escaped from Russia and went to the United States of America. And so it was at the United States of America when Ayn Rand was able to write books about philosophy, economics, and other fields. And one of the books that she wrote was on ethics and morality. And so she wrote The Virtue of Selfishness. So, in order to understand the philosophy or the morality of virtue of selfishness, let us have first to understand what is the contextual meaning of selfishness. How did Ayn Rand describe selfishness? Is it the selfishness that we know about? Or Ayn Rand has given a special meaning to the term selfishness? So when we talk about selfishness from the point of view of Ayn Rand started with the belief and recognition that every individual, men and women in this world, are creation of God. We are all created by God. And each of us is given all the potentials, all the capabilities in order to improve and develop ourselves. And so, with these talents, capabilities, and skills that are given to us, impressed in our being, it is our duty and obligation to God to make use of all these things. What we do to ourselves is our glorification and praise to God. When we make use, when we utilize, when we develop our skills, we make use of our talents and capabilities, then we are praising God because we are maximizing and utilizing all that He has given to us. And so, with these skills, talents, potentials, and everything, we must be self-dependent. Meaning to say, by cultivating our own capabilities, by making use of the talents, competencies that are given to us by God, then we become self-sufficient. Meaning, we can survive by depending on our own capabilities. We can become the best individual if we will just utilize our potentials, we will develop our skills, and be the best person that we can be. So, in this context, a person who is self-dependent, a person who is able to achieve, who is able to succeed in his life, is considered selfish. This is the context of selfishness by Ayn Rand. Because when we speak of selfishness, it means self-dependence. We make use of our own capacity. So, anything that we do using our own capability, using our competencies, using the potentials, everything that we have, then it is good. It is when we do things or when we acquire things by depending from others that the action becomes evil. So for Ayn Rand, cheating is evil. Why is it evil? Because a student is able to get a correct answer not because he works for it, not because he studied, but because he copied the answer of his or her classmates, or perhaps nagtago siya og kodigo that even without studying, no, even without burning the midnight candle, na perfect niya ang exam because he cheated. So, for Ayn Rand, that is evil because you are able to achieve something. You are able to gain something without working for it. Wa nimo pasinguti ang imong achievement sa kinabuhi. So, kung nadato ka because you are claiming properties from other people, if you become rich because you robbed banks, or you cheated, or you engage yourself in graft and corrupt practices, then that is evil. Because you are able to achieve all these things by not working for it. You become dependent on other people. Okay? So it is a sin for Ayn Rand if you become dependent on other people. Kana bang mura ka og linta? Of course, kaila mo og linta, no, leech, nga mo sup-sup sa kinabuhi, sa dugo, sa laing mga, it can be animal or another human person or human being. No. Ang linta na buhi pinaagi sa pagsup-sup sa dugo sa ubang mga creatures. Mao po na ang konteksto ni Ayn Rand, that it would be evil if a person survives by being dependent on other people, because it would be an insult to God if we do not utilize and develop our own skills, our God-given skills and competencies and capabilities. Wa na to gi-develop, wa na to gi-gamit. Instead, we become dependent on other persons. So in the context of Ayn Rand, if in case an individual with all his hard work, utilizing his skills and capabilities, nadato siya, and then he is able to buy the property of his silingan, of his neighbor, then dili na dautan nga imong maangkon ang property sa ubang mga tao tungod kay you are able to acquire all these things because you are utilizing, you are using your own capacity and capability. Mamahimong dautan ang imong gibuhat if, again, we should put stress into this, if you are being dependent on other people. You live because and through other people. Nagsalig ka sa ubang mga tao. No? So that is bad for Ayn Rand. To be selfish is to be self-dependent. In the same context, if you are making other people dependent on you, meaning to say, you have encouraged these people to be dependent on you and not utilizing their skills and capabilities, then that is also considered evil. That is why sa usa ka tao nga nangadyo og limos, we can see that sa lungsod na ay mga tao nga dagkog lawas, no? And they would ask money from you or food from you. Perhaps from other perspectives, giving alms to people would be good. But from the context or from the perspective of Ayn Rand, then that is not good. Because you are encouraging other people to be dependent on others. They are living through others. They are not utilizing, they are not developing the God-given gifts their capabilities and skills. Okay? So, for Ayn Rand, what really matters is that each and every one of us will live in this world by being self-dependent. That when we live in this world, we use the talents, the skills, and capabilities that are given to us by God. So that if ever we will help other people, it is with this helping that we encourage them to be also self-dependent. No, Ayn Rand is not saying that we shouldn't help other people. Of course. But in helping other people, it must be that we are encouraging them to also utilize and develop their skills and capabilities. That not at all times that they become dependent on you. That whatever they need, everything that they need, food, clothing, and shelter, is being taken or asked from you. That is wrong for Ayn Rand. That is not good. No. Because you are curtailing their growth and their development. They could not stand on their own feet because you are always there helping and extending them all the assistance. So instead that they become matured and well-developed persons, they cease to grow because they become dependent on you. And that is not good. Okay? So selfishness is being self-dependent. So that for Ayn Rand, and this is something that controversial, because Ayn Rand really discourages for a person to sacrifice himself for others. No? To offer one's life for others, that is not appreciated by Ayn Rand. Because according to Ayn Rand, we should not destroy ourselves for the sake of others. We are given this obligation by God to preserve ourselves. No? Self-preservation. And sacrificing yourself, no? Dying for others, that is not in accord with the perspective of Ayn Rand. Selfishness is also equated to self-preservation. So what do you think? Do you like Ayn Rand's morality? Is it something acceptable? What do you think? So for example, there is a competition. No, there is a competition, and you compete because you are confident of your skills and capabilities. And there is this another person who competed with you, and the reason why he competed is because he needed the money for his mother who is in the hospital. He needs the money badly, hoping that if he will win in the competition, then the money, the reward, can be used in the hospitalization of his mother. But during the competition, because of your skills and capabilities, you have trained so much, long time of training and practices and exercises, you won in the competition. And because you won, you received the money, the reward. And so the one who competed with you, he lost in the competition, and so he failed to bring the money to the hospital for his mother's hospitalization or medication. Now, would you be guilty for that? Would you feel sorry for that? According to Ayn Rand, no. You don't have to feel sorry about that. because you are just making use of your own capabilities and skills and competencies. If in the process of utilizing your own skills and capabilities, you win in the competition and cost the loss of other people, then it is not your problem. It is not your problem. Because our main purpose in this world is to utilize and develop ourselves to be strong and be the best. So, the philosophy or morality of Ayn Rand is something that for me is really something that is uncommon. So it depends on people how they are going to appreciate and perhaps apply Ayn Rand's basis of morality. So that is why in this context, selfishness is a virtue. Selfishness is considered good by Ayn Rand. Being dependent on other people is evil. So, if you are manipulating other people, you are making use of other people's capacity and capability, you are taking advantage of people, of other people, then that is not good for Ayn Rand. That is evil. Because according to Ayn Rand, I repeat, we should be self-dependent. We enjoy life. We achieve many things. We are able to gather possessions or wealth, not because we are taking advantage of other people, but because of our own self-hard work. Atong kaugalingong pagpaningkamot. Atong kaugalingong paninguha gamit ang atong kaugalingong skills, capabilities, and talents. I hope you have learned something tonight from Ayn Rand's Virtue of Selfishness.